Tell me if this happens to you. The days behind the laptop, I just forget those, but it's awesome fun days with mates on boats like this, which just get burned into my memory forever. Ladies and gents, come on closer. I think designs like this boat that I'm about to show you today, I think their sole purpose is for exactly that mission. It's for just entertaining, taking out your whole family, the closest ones in your circle, and creating those memories. And it's because of design. Ladies and gents, the Boston Whaler Vantage. It's the 330, this one.
Roller coaster. Roller coaster ride. Hands up in the sky. Take you for a ride. Love to feel the high. We can start again. Laughing to the end. Screaming at the top.
It's a big boat that behaves and can be managed like a small boat. So come on closer and let's give you a little bit of an understanding, because that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to go right throughout the whole design, and then in the next video we're going to run it as if you're running it for the day. Obviously going to show you how to put it on the beach. We're going to drop the anchor, run it around the broadwater, and just put it into the same sort of mission spec or mission profile that you would be for the day, which in my personal opinion, jump in the comments, let me know what you think. It's just big fun days, taking people, keeping them comfortable and keeping them safe, which can't be forgotten about when you're talking about a Boston Whaler, because these designs are really, really well built, but the whole sales pitch, if you like, but I guess the message that you must always remember about a Boston Whaler is that it's essentially two hulls with a chunk of foam in between them. So it's been designed to be virtually unsinkable. So you can basically cut these things in half and they'll still float. That's the whole thing about it. So it's essentially a platform, and there's a lot more to it that'll actually keep everyone comfortable and safe. But if that's a priority for your boating, you'll definitely achieve it on one of these. So they are a sort of moderate or medium displacement, so they're quite beamy. There's quite a bit of, 5.5 ton plus a load of fuel and engines, and a reasonable beam. It is a big boat. If you compare it to some of the more mass market boats from Europe, this is going to feel much bigger than a lot of those boats. It also has a decent enough height of the gunnel, which we're going to notice when we get inside the boat. And I just want you to come down close and just have a look at the hull design, because for running around, going across boat waves, wind chop, all that sort of stuff, the wash, it gets deflected and then it gets deflected again and then it gets finished off here. So just have a look at the GRP, have a look at this glass just up here, and then when we get on board, pay attention to the transom. We haven't cleaned this boat and we've been driving it since 8 a.m. this morning. It is now 11:45 and we've been ripping around, and we should be wet. On a lot of boats we would have had spray all over the windscreen. This thing has kept us dry, it's kept us comfortable, and because the Vantage is a dual console, is the term we use, we can keep everyone together in a social scene, but we keep them all protected from the wind and the sun and the rain should they need. But let's just pay our attention or our focus to the bow right now. Some cool stuff's going on. Obviously you can see the bow roller and the anchor operation. It can be done from the bow or from the helm, and you can possibly also notice this piece of stainless here. This is a tow hook. So if you're going to use this in the tender function behind your big boat, and I suggest it'll work just fine in that mission, you can attach your tow line to that, and it's got a built-in beach boarding ladder. So this actually slides in when not in use, so you can retract the ladder, slide it in, and it's completely out of sight, so none of this protrudes. And now you can also see the quick windlass. That's your safety to secure the anchor when it's not in use. And you can operate it from here in the bow, but we can also do it from the helm. We've got a handle just located here. That's to tighten the clutch as necessary, and this is kept up on a gas strut. It's also worth pointing out, all the Boston Whalers, all of the inside of the hatches, everywhere, everything you look, when you open up floors, get underneath, get out of sight, the finish is next level. It's really, really good. They are spending a lot of money finishing these boats off in an effort for them to last a lifetime, in my personal opinion. And not everyone does that, I understand that. Lots of companies have got their accountants and budgets to keep, and they're building more to a price, which is fine. I want everyone to go boating. So those boats just won't last as long. It's as simple as that. How cool is this? So handy. So come on board with me. Come and discover this boat, because at 33 feet, you could argue that this is a big, solid, massive piece of kit, and it is. And you might be thinking to yourself, is it too much to manage? But I personally believe, having just spent the day driving it, the design, I'm just giving you a quick little walkthrough whilst Angelo washes his feet. The design and layout of this boat allows for one person to operate it and accommodate everyone safely and easily, in my personal opinion. And let's crack on with that. Here's your camera, mate. So this sunshade is retractable, so it's manual. So what we do, we undo it, 1, 2, 3, 4, then we roll it up. The 2 stainless poles that have their mating points just here, we stow them below the floor, and then this can be open or protected like so. This is a great place. You could sit here underway. Inshore. Offshore may be a different story, but I don't see this as being a boat that people are predominantly going to do offshore boating, and I see it as more of a inshore and semi-enclosed waters style of boating, because it's all about being social and you don't want to make your partners or your friends scared. The boat will be fine, it's just about your guests. So you've got 2 drink holders, you've got your stereo control, there's a light in here, you've got charging points in all of the necessary locations. We have storage underneath the seats here, and we've got on both sides these flip down armrests. This table will actually either drop down and turn this area into a bed, which is the cushion is stored in the cabin just down there, or we can get rid of it entirely. We've got underfloor storage just here, and there's essentially every part of the boat is accessible. And once again, you see the finishing on the inside, that is all drained going down to the mid bilge. It's beautifully done. So that's deep storage. You could put lots of items in there. You could put all the boat's life jackets in here should you need or wish. And then this access door has got a clever thing, because this gas strut just here, ordinarily, if you've used any of these doors, when they're this size, this glass is pretty heavy. And if the wind's blowing, which probably is because you're out on a boat and it's the afternoon, it's windy, this thing can get caught by the wind and it becomes a little bit of a safety issue, or it's just hard. So if you're trying to get grandma to do it, that's going to be a safety issue. Whereas this gas strut, I've been using it all day, you just release the lock, which stops it from getting caught from the wind, and then you can just close it, one arm operation. It literally takes half the pressure or the weight off for you. This door here has got a function. So this is designed to stop the wind penetrating the cabin. So if you're in a part of the world where that's important because you don't want to get cold, you close that. Or if you're in the tropics, you just leave it open and let the air flow through. However, you have a choice. If you were copping a bit of spray and you wanted to keep this area fully locked off, just up here is a little glass window, electrically operated, at the helm, and that will allow air to be sucked in from the upper part. So that's quite clever. 2 windscreen wipers. They've both got the wash function. As I mentioned, we haven't even needed to use them today because it hasn't been necessary. Little windows down into the cabin, and we have the head on the port side and a sleeping cabin on starboard. I'll show you that in a sec because I just want to let you appreciate this interior. Come on in. So it's heaps of space. Like it's really voluminous in here, so you can imagine the amount of people you can accommodate. But just to cover what's going on up here, you're probably going to start your day by removing the isinglass. So that comes on the zipper here, and then it just protects out back. You can lock this boat up with the isinglass, and then all the upholstery is going to stay protected. You might notice we've left it on the infills just here because it basically does act like glass. It's not like clears, much easier to see through, and it's easier to manhandle. You just zip it off and you just, because it doesn't roll, it stays flat. You actually have a storage space just up here and you just slot it into the roof. Super easy. Whilst you're up there, you can see those forward-facing hatches, which are fine for letting some more air in. You can option these with air conditioning, but I'm not sure if that's super necessary on a boat like this, unless you're in the tropics. Lots of downlights all the way around, and the height, it's noticeable. So it does a couple of things. I just keep resonating, this is a safe boat to operate with lots of people. The height of this roof, when you're ripping along at speed, if you cut into a port turn and the helm is on starboard, if the roof's a lower roof, it's going to totally block your visibility. But in this one, you can see all around, and you hook it into a port turn, because of the height of the roof, it doesn't actually block your line of sight, so it feels quite safe. So it comes straight out the back, and we'll start on the transom, then I'll try and cover everything piece by piece. The other thing you may or may not have noticed, the height of these gunnels, which I pointed out before, and the design that we have here, we've got the Barbie station out back. No one's dogs, no one's little kids are going to be accidentally falling in the drink here. And if you are setting it up in swim mode, an adult can control the little tackers from going in and out of the water. So if the engines are on, obviously the door will be closed. So again, I like that. The engines, Mercury's quiet, smooth, great for having conversation. It comes standard with the twin 300s. We're running the 400s today, and I would argue if your mission is to take big groups, if you want to take 2 families and lots of weight and heaps of booze, get the 400s. If you're running with a smaller number of people and you're just taking out your partner and your dog, 300s will be fine. And the reason I say that is because with the 400s, with lots of weight, you will cruise with lower revs and you'll have lower fuel burn. And they're just cool, and I like having a bigger number on the back, but maybe that's just me. So, rod holders, just here and here. We do have some cleats accessible from here. This is our live bait tank on the starboard aft. This whole area serves quite well as somewhere to sit down and be social when not in use, but that's the Barbie. And on this boat, we're running it off lithium and inverters, which we'll see the button in a second. This is a brand new boat, but this little Corian top flips around, and that's a cutting board, but then it also has a storage space just under here, and it actually slides out of the way. It's got its own little slides just in here, boom, boom. So it stores in there. Then you got your bucket for all things required for a bucket. I know the Bostons love to do that. We've got drawers made out of hard plastic, not wood. Gonna last a long time. Now we have one of our fridges out back here, and that's made in stainless, but I like how they've matched the face, so this is all consistent, just has a bit of an elegant finish to it. Drink holders over here on the port side, they are drained, so they're not going to fill up with water, so if you left your phone or your sunnies in there and there was some water, it's not going to drown them. Cleat and a grab hold here, because our stern ladder is here, so that is a 4-step telescopic ladder, which should slide out. Yeah, it does. So it slides out and deploys on that side. So then this is obviously where you're going to do most of your swimming from, but we have a dive door, which we'll get to in a second. Okay, so we have some courtesy lights here. We have waste out. This looks like water in. This is our other freshwater shower. So these are hot and cold if you option it with the hot water tank. And we can also hang a fender off the side out back here, so we don't need to utilize the cleat, because that's a fender deployment hook which will retract when not in use, and then you can just dedicate the cleat for securing the boat. A couple more rocket launchers for rods just under my bum here. I like this setup here because you do exactly this. People sit and socialize, and when I show you in a second, we can modify this seating to our needs essentially. Petrol in, just here, it's a bit over 1,000 litres, about 1,060 I saw on the tank. Don't ask me what that is in gallons, it's less. But the shore shade, super handy. So you'll probably be opting to use this one a little bit more than the front shade, because the front shade does require 30 seconds, 60 seconds of setup. But just pay attention to how the trailing edge of the shore shade goes over the barbie station. So it's going to give you a good amount of protection when the sun is high and at its hottest in the middle of the day. So I like that. That's pretty handy. And then on the roof here, super solid roof. You won't see, but I'll cut some B-roll. We do actually have a mounting for towing a skier. So if you actually wanted to get some air time, that's a better tow point than down low to have some fun. If you've got the skills, because you could kick out a bit of wake behind this thing. We are a sizable boat. So yeah, if you are applying the towing toys and having fun time mission to this boat, it will do that quite happily for you. Now, another fridge. So this one's a drawer fridge. Sorry, not a drawer, but like so, stainless steel in that location. And then under here, we've got the shore power, water, shore power connection there, and that's the management. And then we've got our JL audio here, speakers dotted all the way around. But the kill tanks, which will also serve very well as fender and line storage, are under here. They are macerated. So this is on port. It goes forward as well, so it's deep and wide. It will stow a couple of fenders, and we can do the same again on this side, like so. And you can see we've got two fenders in there now, and there would be space for multiple lines. So that's handy. And the scuppers out back on either side, 1, 2, just here. And if you copped a big wave, hope you don't, that's actually designed to open as well and take some more water if it needs to be evacuated off the deck. So this is brand new, so it needs some pressure because the seals are super good. And look at these hinges. I just love this big, strong finish on this boat. So this is the dive door. So we have a dive ladder, which has its own dedicated storage space. It fits into these positions here, then slides forward to lock in position. And then if you need to pull yourself out of the water, you deploy this handle, pop that down, and you hang on to that just to make life a little bit easier for yourself. We've also used it today boarding. So if you're going to come alongside, you can favour the starboard side. Yes, absolutely, getting on the back of the boat is not a problem, but I would just suggest if you've got some old people, get them on this dive door, because this is much safer to hold on to, and you feel more secure getting on like that as opposed to that. So all the kids can get on here. Grandma and granddad should probably get on here and just make life easy for them. Make sure you've got this stowed before they do, so they don't trip themselves and blame you. So that's all good, lovely, well done. And I like having a couple more rocket launchers here. Would be good for flags on Australia Day too. JL audio speakers up above, and this is LED downlights. So that's going to illuminate this whole area. So it really is a proper multifunctional space. So it's fishing if you want, it's barbies if you wish, and it's social every day. But then this is what's cool. So this is definitely going to be one of the nice seats underway. You're totally protected from wind, from sun, and from spray. It's also going to be social when you want it to be, as is this area. I'm going to put my sunnies down now so you can see me. And I'm not being rude when I wear sunnies. So many people talk to me in the comments. My eyes just can't handle the sun. So I'm not trying to disconnect from you if that's what you thought. But this opposing seating right now, it can actually, by flicking up this handle, you can actually, let me do it properly, there we go. You can now quickly turn it into an aft lounge, like so, and then you've just got to flick this back again and immediately turn it into social seating. However, when you go driving and maybe you want to look forwards, it now becomes a forward lounge. Isn't that clever? I think it's a simple solution to a common need. I like that. But there's more, because if you just release this here, okay, so it's on like a bit of a gas strut. It pushes itself up, but faster if you do it. There we go, like so. Now we've got a little lunch table in here. So isn't that cute? I think that's a really good solution. We have drink holders Every seat, in fact, has proper drink holders. We've got charging points just down below, so you can put all your devices away should you need. And then from a storage perspective, all the boat's covers, and actually the dive ladder has its own dedicated storage spot where it's tied down. And this is all hard plastic and mesh to allow it to breathe. So moisture underneath these seats, it's not a drama. It's not going to bugger it if you leave it exposed to the water for too long. Now, I'm guessing, because this one's got the fridge, if you didn't option it with the fridge out back here, this would be another storage bin. So you can correct me if you know more than I. If you see the press studs, we do have the possibility to cover all of these seats. So depending where you store it, you can. And this is actually an esky, or a chili bin for all my Kiwi mates. So it's well insulated on the gas strut and super easy. It opens up without requiring the cushion to move. So that's easy because you've got this cut back in the aft backrest, which allows this cushion, the seat cushion, to come up. These are courtesy lights, and so they're just going to illuminate down so they won't ruin your night vision. There is technical storage under the floor. I'm going to get to that in a second because there's more to show you. And then more drink holders just after the helm here. I like having a bit of flat space around because when you are sort of having a little bit of a party, people are going to put drinks down and just dot them around the boat. So you do have a few flat spaces which will facilitate that. Driving this boat's really fun. And it's really, really easy. We'll cover that in the next video, but from an ergonomics and an operational perspective, your visibility is fantastic. Your access forward and aft is incredible. The boat is heavier. If I know a lot of you are going to be imagining bow riders and day boats, and most of those are going to be in like the 28, 27 foot size range that most people will be used to. So they are going to get overtaken by the weather and the wind a little bit quicker than something that's 33 feet and 3.3 odd meters wide. So this thing's quite, her form stability and her inherent stability is quite sedate in and around the dock. So things happen slower. So you can be managing the boat and the boat's not running away from you as soon as a little bit of wind comes. So you have the possibility to slow it all down. Hopefully you can see from there with the sky hook. So you can literally just press this button that comes with these 400s, and that will just hold the boat in position. If you want to sit and drive, you can actually, both the skipper's seat and the navigator and guests have these electric up downs. I've put the seat in the full back position, but you can see by my feet how much room you have. So it's actually totally fine for taller people. And then you may have noticed this flips up, which is handy when you're actively parking the boat. But if you want to stand and drive, slide your bum out and do that, and then you can still actually kind of use it as a comfortable little bum rest. So it just raises your height a little bit, or you stand. And then look how much, like, it's totally designed for really, really tall people. I talk to a lot of you guys in the comments, and some of them, I never notice because I'm a short ass, but some of you blokes jump on the boats after you've seen it on my channel, and then you will tell me how the railing is right in your line of sight because you're 6'2" or something like that. But okay, my arm is fully outstretched. That's going to be a really tall bloke, and you're still going to have, because see this glass design here? There's no railing here, which is going to be right in your face. So you can be totally massive and it's still going to be comfortable for you. And having heard that from so many of you so many times, I realized it's an issue. So JL Audio, we got our trim tab operation. You will do a little bit of trimming on this boat because you can take 14 people. So, you know, if it's the rugby boys or the bikini girls, their weight's all going to be different. Depending where they sit on the boat might want to have a bit of lean one way or the other. You can balance that all out. Got your safety, although I don't really see people falling off this boat with the way she behaves, but it's there. We have all of our necessary operation rather than hiding them in the electronic display. I like having navigation, anchor, forward flood, aft flood, wiper wash, bilge pump, then the windlass power activation, up, down and horn. That's all really good. I'm happy to see that there because it's something that you're going to refer to regularly. The next thing is having this vent just there. I like to be able to operate that from there. And the speaker for the stereos, because I hate having to go over to the other side to operate the stereo, so that's useful. We got twin SIM rads. It looks as if there's enough real estate to go bigger screens if you wanted, for those of you who wish. And you could put definitely a couple of phones down here. This is drained, really massive. Oh, look at this one. I think that's for a wine bottle. Not that I'm encouraging drinking wine and driving, but just for when you're at anchor. That's huge. Okay, that must, or maybe like a massive milkshake coffee. You know what? I know what that is. Americans drink coffee out of milkshake cups. I think that's what that is. It's for American coffees, because when I've been to Starbucks, they have like, they drink like milkshake coffees. So maybe that's what that's for. And this is just a normal for a tinny with a cooler. So I think that's what's going on there. But inside this system, this allows us, this is a custom setup for Boston Whaler. We can operate all the different lights and the different colors and the different styles. Then we can flip over to the switches. We can also do the gauges and operate things like the rear sunshade, the live well, can all be done from here. As you can see, we've got the washer and wiper power, but we're actually operating windscreen wiper wash from the button at the helm here, so you can do both. Obviously multifunctional displays, so heaps going on. And then this is for navigator and passengers. I like having the individual bolsters as opposed to the one, so two people can be comfortable. Super comfy, to be fair, and this footrest is in the perfect position. So you can get your feet up, rest your arm, you can actually hold on here. Once again, it feels good, it feels safe, and then you can do these ones with maybe a backrest cushion. That's totally comfortable like so, and communicate with everyone else as you see fit. We've got drink holders, phone charging, the seat up and down, because I mentioned this is also electric, so you can set your height to get your eye line, and the pumping stereo speakers should you wish. But this is awesome. It's super nice, and obviously, you know, given the size of the vessel, we can have a luxurious head of this style, which just would not have been possible on a smaller day boat. So you've got plenty of headroom. This is frosted glass, so it's totally private, but it's allowing some natural light in. And then we've got quite a lot of beam around us. So this is actually a pull-out shower because this is a wet area, so it is possible to have a quick shower in here. We've got holding tank, an area to store some toiletries bags, nice little vanity. We've got deep storage, and the loo roll is hidden in here. Once again, you look inside these hatches and everything's nicely done. That's held up by magnet, beautiful timber. It's one of these foot-operated vacuum flush toilet systems. So it's basically like on the aeroplane where everything just goes and they don't smell. So much better than the ones you find on older boats, which have macerators. So deep storage just there, and then also access into the centerline storage through this plastic access hatch. It's also allowing us access into some of the systems, and then we've actually got a bin. So that's for the girls, which is useful, and we're on beautiful teak. So that's really nice. I probably would, your light operation is there, I would probably just advise everyone to reverse down just for, even though there's no sharp edges, I think it'd be safer to reverse down, particularly if you're wearing a cap. You might miss some of those headlinings, and then you'll bang your head, as I have done to myself in the past. But that's good. That is super strong. Love it. I like the finishings with the leather on the dash here. Just be careful about some possible reflections. However, we do have some overhang of the roof here. It hasn't been an issue for us today, but I'm just noting that in case it is for you. And this is awesome. So often these little cabins would just be for kids, but this is both a lounge and a sleeping bed because this is a proper size. I've got access behind the helm in there. I have that little window. There's this central cushion. I'll pull it out. You know what I'll do? I'll just store this here. That's for the bow. What there is, this central cushion will actually just pull out. And can you see this bar here? So that just goes up and gets out of the way. And now this whole area can turn into like a lounge. So you probably just got to stow this up here. And now it's like a little lounge area. So it's just somewhere probably to send the kids. You've got the proper locked storage area for the bow table and the bow leg. Just in here, light operation. We've got the cards for the GPS. We've got more charging back here, and beautiful teak on the floor, and a nice little step. Everywhere you look, they have gone to the extra level. Oh, look, this will actually open. So you can also, if you're not air conditioning down here, you can also pop this window from the inside. I didn't notice that from the outside, and vent this space. So they're gonna suck air down into the boat, which is lovely. That's cool. So that's nice. This flooring has been done locally in Australia because it suits the boat. That's not Boston Whaler flooring, but it's probably a little bit more suited to us. Now, I can't remember if I showed you under this floor, so I better get in here. This is good, deep central storage. Obviously, you can see my film bag in here at the moment, but it's great for various items. And it also allows us to get underneath the electric actuator motors on both Helm chair and Navigator guest's chair on either side. So you've got clear access from a service and maintenance perspective. So that's sensible. And then I told you I'd show you under the floor out back. This is your technical access. And let's just pop that. So we've got the lithium pack on this one. So I suppose it's probably possible to option it with a genset back aft, but this makes more sense for this boat's use case. So we've got the lithium and an inverter, and then you can see the bilge pumps, the raw water intakes for the various macerators, the live bait well, the power distribution and wiring loom. It's all tidy, beautifully done, no rough edges anywhere, and lots of storage. You can see we've brought along with us obviously a safety grab bag, but also a stern anchor, because this is a boat, even though we've gone bow to today, where, you know, if you're in the right spot, you could also do that. So I know a lot of my mates who love to do the sandbar thing, you could totally back it up on a sandbar in Florida and other parts of the world and just set up for the day. So, yeah, what do you reckon? Am I right? Is this the sort of boat that you'd be creating memories on? Is this the sort of boat that's gonna encourage the grandkids or the kids to keep coming and hang out with you for the summer? Or would you tow it behind your big boat? Let me know in the comments. It's probably one of the most high quality boats in this category. If you're just talking about how she feels underway, how she feels through the waves, and how she's going to behave for you long term. So if you're looking for a boat that you want to keep for a long time, I would suggest that this would be a good option. Where shall I go? Let's sit out. I'm going to sit here. Why don't you guys go there and look back in so you can see more boat. So what sort of person is going to see the most value in owning a 330 Vantage? I genuinely believe it's someone who wants quality, someone who wants convenience, someone who wants safety. I just have that feel on this thing. And someone who's trying to create memories. So whether that's big days fishing with your grandkids, whether that's days towing toys, if it's days visiting destinations, getting on and off the boat, going to restaurants, or if it's days on the beach or on anchor, just having lunch and hanging out, it's totally going to do all of those missions really, really well, and absolutely drive the boat by yourself. Sure, if you've got another pair of hands, you can use them, but this is not a design that requires that. Even though we have the glass and it's full width, being a dual console, it has a inherent stability, inherent form stability and behavior about her that she's predictable enough to just get the thing in and out by yourself, and you can go to these aft cleats, you can go to the bow and manage the boat in a safe manner, in my opinion. So how does she drive and how should you manage her? That's in the next video coming up on the screen any minute now. If you want to find out pricing. If you want to talk to me and ask me questions, that's in my Patreon. Link is down below in the description. I'll see you in the next video, guys. It's been a great day and we're going to continue doing this. So look forward to seeing you there. Love you lots. See you soon.